Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and let's dive right in. Attorney General Barr threatens to skip House Judiciary Committee hearing. Attorney General William Barr has threatened to skip this upcoming week's House Judiciary hearing over Chairman Jerry Nadler's proposal to have committee staff question him. Barr has repeatedly threatened not to testify before the House Judiciary Committee next Thursday over reports that Chairman Nadler wants to have Democrat judiciary staff, not members of Congress, question Barr regarding his management of Special Counsel Mueller's report. Department of Justice officials contend that lawmakers, not staffers, should conduct the hearing. The Attorney General agreed to appear before Congress. Therefore, Congress does the questioning, one DOJ official said. DOJ officials reportedly told the committee that they oppose any plans to go into a closed session if they want to discuss the redacted parts of the Mueller report. Negotiations between the DOJ and the House Judiciary Committee will continue on Monday. Barr will testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Wednesday, where the committee will hold a normal hearing involving senators questioning the Attorney General. A spokesperson for the House Judiciary Committee Republican minority said Attorney General Barr wasn't asked to testify before the committee. He offered. He provided the Mueller report voluntarily. He invited Democrat leaders to view the less redacted report in person. Yet the only thing, apparently, that will satisfy Democrats who refuse to read the less redacted report is to have staff pinch hit when a cabinet-level official appears before us. What actual precedent is there for our committee making such demands of a sitting Attorney General as part of our oversight duties? The Attorney General isn't a fact witness, and this committee's investigations, as Democrat leaders remind us daily, don't constitute impeachment. So Democrats have yet to prove their demands anything but abusive and illogical in light of the transparency and good faith the Attorney General has shown our committee. Fox News reported that it remains unusual for committee counsels to question witnesses. However, Senate Republicans last year hired an outside prosecutor to question Christine Blasey Ford, who accused then Supreme Court Justice nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault back in the 1980s. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Nadler said that Special Counsel Mueller needs to testify before the committee that we clearly cannot believe what Barr tells us regarding the Mueller report. The long and short of this is the Democrats will not be happy until they browbeat someone into saying, fine, he did, we just lied, let me leave. They're not going to be happy until they get someone to toe the party line and help them try to overthrow the president. Attorney General Barr worked with Robert Mueller to redact the report according to U.S. law according to what can and cannot be made public. There is a less redacted report available only to members of Congress, which Democrats have refused to read. Now they want Attorney General William Barr to come to a committee meeting where the committee members are not even present. They're going to send their flunkies to browbeat him for as long as they want until they have something they can twist and rend into whatever they want to demand their way. The connection to Blasey Ford being questioned by someone who is not a member of the House or Senate is irrelevant. Blasey Ford is a private citizen. She is not a cabinet member. She's not a government official in any sense. She was accusing a Supreme Court justice or Supreme Court nominee of very serious criminal things. So they had an attorney brought in to question her, who, of course, softballed everything to her and treated Brett Kavanaugh as if he was Charles Manson. They accused him of, and I've said this before, something happened somewhere about 30-some odd years ago where somebody was present and witnessed it. You can't prove that, ever. There's no way to prove those charges. Every time they ask her, well, where was the house? I don't remember. Who was there? I don't remember. Well, what exactly happened? I don't really remember. But I'm totally telling the truth. These are the actions of a teenager trying to get out of being grounded, not the actions of a PhD doctor, professor in her 50s who is trying to do the right thing, as she said. Of course, the actions of sending the letter while Gorsuch was being questioned and debated, and then having the letter used for Kavanaugh is also not the actions of an honorable person, but Feinstein did that. apparently. William Barr is the Attorney General of the United States. No one should ever tell him, you will appear before Congress, but we're not going to be there. We're going to send our flunkies to question you. Because those are the actions of someone who does not want to be tied to the questioning should it actually backfire on them. They want to be able to say, well, the staffer asked the wrong questions. When Attorney General Barr refuses to change the story to support Democrat desires, they can say, no, you need to come back. We're going to have different people question you. And this would go on and on ad infinitum until they get their way or until Donald Trump has served out his second term. You see, the Democrats don't actually care about rule of law. If they did, the Seth Rich case, the secret meeting on the tarmac between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch, the Fast and Furious scandal, the private server being bleach-bitted and mobile devices having hammers taken to them, SIM cards being destroyed, all of that would have actually been investigated properly, and charges would have been filed, and people would be in jail for it. But you see, those were charges against Democrats. Now, they're making up things as they go and saying that Donald Trump actually did collude, and the Mueller report saying there's no evidence really means there is evidence, but Attorney General Barr hid everything. They're not going to be happy until someone slams the unredacted report in front of them where it clearly shows no evidence of collusion and no evidence of obstruction, because then they can selectively leak whatever they want to continue this fight to seize power. It's a little-known fact that every Republican president since Eisenhower has had the Democrats try to impeach them. Now, of those, of course, Richard Nixon resigned before they could even really begin anything because he deleted, I believe, 13 minutes of audio tape. So that one we can probably exclude. But every other GOP president since Ike has had an impeachment hunt against him. And notice, they've never been able to get anywhere with it. Richard Nixon basically said, yes, I deleted some tape. I'll resign. And we got Ford for a couple of years. And then Jimmy Carter came in. And then, of course, Ronald Reagan asked the country in 1980, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? The country resoundingly, in 1980 and 1984, when Walter Mondale tried to appropriate that slogan, resoundingly said, no, we're not in 1980, and yes, we are in 84, and Ronald Reagan won by landslides. Of course, in 1980, they tried to pin the Iran-Contra affair on Ronald Reagan. Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North fell on his sword, and Ronald Reagan was not impeached. They've tried everything they can to seize power. And now that the Mueller report is out, and Robert Mueller himself has said there was no collusion, they refuse to accept it. The same as Brenda Snipes in Broward County refused to accept that the votes counted went to the Republicans. Or as Stacey Abrams in Georgia refused to accept the results of the gubernatorial election. And they refuse to accept it until they're forced to. A.G. Barr needs to, in my view, say, oh, only staffers will be there? Well, I'll send one of my staffers. And they will happily tell you they don't know anything about the Mueller report because they never saw it. If you want to talk to me, you talk to me. Although they've already had Chairman Nadler's committee tell Attorney General Barr that they're going to subpoena other members of his staff who are not allowed to bring legal counsel with them. And when Attorney General Barr said, no, my people will have representation with them or they won't come, Chairman Nadler said, we will have them thrown in jail, which of course cannot be done because Congress does not have the power of incarceration. They have the power to issue a subpoena, and if that subpoena is not followed or not honored, then the DOJ steps in. And the DOJ would happily say, you denied these people legal representation. They have a right to that. You denied it. Therefore, you nullified your subpoena. Attorney General Barr needs to tell them, you subpoenaed me or you asked me and then I offered to come talk to you, not your flunkies. But in the coming days and weeks, expect the entirety of the House DNC to cry and rant and rave and spread their lies about how Attorney General Barr is obstructing justice by not coming to talk to them. And of course, they won't ever admit that they weren't actually going to be there. they were going to be in their offices or out on the news circuit campaigning for president or helping someone else campaign for president, while their flunkies hurled everything they could at Attorney General Barr, hoping to trip the man up. Honestly, I kind of would like to see that, because Attorney General Barr is in a league so far beyond any of the House Democrats, let alone their staffers, that it would be almost comical to watch him just dismantle everyone who's hurling accusations at him until he leaves them all but in a puddle of a crying mess. But I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think. Remember, keep the comments civil. We don't learn from an argument, we learn from debate. As always, make sure to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as to subscribe and activate notifications so that you're among the first to know of new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.